You are watching Madman Cafe live on Q2 Cast TV.
Live from high atop his mountain fortress, it's the show that's 100 organic, 40 caffeinated, and at least 50 feet away from all historical monuments. He's the man who once successfully argued with a GPS until it started crying. He's faster than a speeding snail and capable of overthinking a greeting card at a single bound. Hide your snacks and lock your doors. Here's the madman.
Welcome to another edition of the Madman Cafe, live high atop the Mountain Fortress here in NYC, in Staten Island, New York. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. We'll be talking about them a little bit later. They've won the Eastern Conference Championship. Congratulations to them. There's a lot going on. Before I forget, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like, share. Don't forget to comment. If you're in the chat, hey, say something up on there. We also have memberships, super chats, all that is in there as well. And if you want to really truly help and you want to take that moment, obviously we got a new t-shirt line out there. Excuse me. The Stay Curious, Stay Informed, Stay Mad shirts are available right now live on shopcuticast.com. Use the promo code STAYMAD for a extra 10% off. This will be running. The promo code will change sometime toward July, but it'll be still that 10% for you on there. So remember, it's shopcuticast.com. Stay mad for the promo to get that additional 10% off. So we got a lot to unravel today, as usual, to the point. And we're going to get into this on there. Obviously, we're going to be talking about anime today a little bit later. Also, we're going to get a special guest. Death Angel Shadows will be joining us with an announcement. There's a major live stream today that's going on. There's another part of it starting at 7 p.m. this evening. So he'll be coming on to explain that as well. But let me bring in our regular panelist. Oh, lost that there for a second. Let's bring in Sci-Fi Snob.
Hello, and I prefer to be referred to as irregular.
Oh, irregular. Okay, irregular. And, of course, Outpost Nerd.
If you get more fiber in your diet, you wouldn't be so irregular.
Don't be a shill for the fiber industry.
Okay.
That's what they want you to think.
They just want you to buy. Hey, listen, if you need fiber, remember the last show, there's those gummies, gummy worms, the sour, sweet and sour. You got to eat a bag of those and you'll be regular.
And I heard Madman's t-shirts are full of fiber as well.
Exactly. That's right.
Check them out. They're pretty cool. I like the new design there that you showed.
Yep. We got another one that's coming out, hopefully maybe midsummer to summer on there. We're still working on it. But I just wanted to start off with this. You guys are familiar with the Muppets, obviously. Down in Florida, they just opened at Epcot, they opened the replacement for the Aerosmith roller coaster. It's now the Muppet roller coaster. But if anybody's taking a travel to New York, especially on the weekend, you'll be able to get a chance. I believe this is out in Brooklyn. They've just opened to the public the Jim Henson Studios. You could take a tour and check out the cool stuff from everything from Fraggle Rock to Dark Crystal. And cool. It's a great, it's a great thing to see all this, the Muppet glory days and everything like that. And it's a nice tour. I think it's limited toward the summer only. I don't know if they're going to go beyond the summer, but it is currently open. Oh no, it's in Queens. It's the Queens Studio. Let's see. Ooh, that is expensive. $150 to go see it.
What?
Yeah, it's $150. It's $150 to take the tour. that this is what the article is saying on there.
Holy moly!
Yeah,
Guess
the
there's
tour
made
runs.
more money since PBS got defunded. Holy shit!
Yeah, I guess the poor immigrant kids who are watching Sesame Street aren't going to get to go.
Well, the tour is 80 minutes, and it runs on Saturdays only. It's giving visitors a photo opportunity with the real props creators. Oh, so you're able to.
Creators and props. Wow.
Yeah. So you're able to check, hang out with them. That's probably why it's $150.
Yeah, that seems.
That's pretty good. The performers, ticket holders, will also see a live puppetry demo, meet the shop's skill builders, and tour a vibrant busting workshop packed with fictional creatures, mid-assembly, texture fabrics, color fur, ready-made parts. Stuff that they're working on right now. You get the tour that
So it's like you're being given a tour through the working studio.
Yeah, that's a little more.
Yeah,
I mean, still, 150 is a bit, $80.
Yeah,
but I can see why. That's kind of a special thing, eh? That's not just like walking through a wax museum and seeing a bunch of fake Muppets.
Well, considering the history of the Muppets, also remember that.
Now I have the Fraggle Rock theme stuck in my head.
Sorry,
I'm still waiting for my Muppet Lord of the Rings, but.
No, I've loved Dark Crystal is one of my favorites. I just got the I think it's the steel book. I just got the steel book. I got that, and I got Labyrinth in steel book.
Yeah,
I wanted to Dark Crystal for one of my movie nights when we switch to fantasy. We occasionally do. We got to do that one sometime soon.
That is such a great film.
That was such a letdown. The Age of Dark Crystal, the Age of Resistance, that TV series they did. That I would have loved to see like what led up to all that, but
there is a documentary on that.
No, this was like a series.
That's what I'm saying. They did do a documentary for the series,
but it was a letdown.
It was a letdown in some ways, but some ways it was pretty good to see the story prior to the to the movie. The elements that led to the situation that they were headed for on there, and how that one race, I forgot the name of the race, that they became not the Skeksis, the ones that became enslaved, the little ones,
Podlings,
that they became enslaved, to that point. But but that's good. So if you guys are in New York, you want to drop $150 in Queens to see a great workshop, it's out there for you. Do check it out. I believe it's on the Muppets website also too on there. The other thing, here's something really good. You guys know Peter Jackson, right?
Of course.
And he's famous.
Hey, lives right down the street from me. I
really?
borrowed his lawnmower the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he's had Lord of the Rings and stuff like that.
Oh, the Lord? No, not the Lord of the Ring guys. Sorry.
Snobs in a run this today. He basically has been around for a long time before Lord of the Rings on there. Major announcement that has come out is his 3 original movies are getting the 4K treatment. Bad Taste, Brain Dead, and Meet the Feebles. All 3 of these movies will be getting I think they're all 3 are getting steel books. Which I'm surprised Bad Taste is getting a steel book. If you've never seen how bad, literally the name in itself, how bad the movie is. But this is
my favorite non Lord of the Rings movie is with The Frighteners, with Michael J. Fox, and that was such a good movie. It's so funny. Mm-hmm. Jake Busey plays the bad guy in it, and you got Arlie Emery, you got John Aston as the judge. It's a great cast. Love that. Love that. I'm not a big fan of horror movies, but it was such a good movie. Michael J. Fox was amazing in it. That was a few years before his diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. Brain Dead is excellent. It's an excellent flick. A Bad Taste. That's his earliest work. This is it's shot. I think it was shot on VHS. I think on that. Because the quality is not the greatest in the world, and I can imagine when they remaster it, how it's going to look to that point. But speaking of remaster, this just came out today. You guys know Hammer Films,
think so.
The Hammer Horror, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, all those films
Oh, yes,
from back in the day. Well, it seems they've unearthed the edited out parts of the Horror of Dracula. Now, the Horror of Dracula, in its original, because you could see it in Japan, you're able to see this in its original cut, and it's bloodier than than what they've shown in the United Kingdom and in the U.S. Now, supposedly, it's getting a 4K remaster, and it's getting a re-release in theaters. So it is getting a theatrical release in all of its glory, uncut. So fans of the horror genre, of the old school horror genre, will be able to see what this looked like originally, what it was supposed to look like originally in theaters.
Oh, funny you should mention 4K releases. The Doctor Who movie, I think it was 92. That was in 92. They did is getting a 4K release. Sylvester
It's being
McCoy
released this week. I believe it's this week.
Just announced it a few days ago. I saw a announcement for it. I liked that movie. I like the Eighth Doctor. I think is one of the doctors we as Americans have got the least to know, because a lot of the Eighth Doctor's adventures happened in comics and audiobooks. Paul McGann is a great doctor. I love the Night of the Doctor when it shows him actually regenerating into the War Doctor. It was just so
I was in
satisfying.
Florida when they announced. I was living in Florida when they announced that.
And I thought the look of the TARDIS in the movie was not my favorite, because it looked like an old Victorian apartment with like just a TARDIS panel in the middle of it. But I think it showed off Sylvester McCoy's like elasticity of his face that he can do. Like, he's one of those actors who can change his looks, kind of like Jim Carrey, how he does that. I enjoyed it. And what was his name? I can't remember his name. It was an American guy who played the Master, which I know.
That's Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts. I thought it was a decent movie. It was supposed to be like a pilot for an American version of the show.
Well, it's Spielberg's company that was involved in it also with Fox.
Yeah. And it got 15 years of silence, because it wasn't till 2006 that we got the next Doctor.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, see, I remember when I was living down in Florida, the PBS station, we had a PBS station. It was out of West Palm Beach that would run Sci-Fi Saturday nights on there. They would run Doctor Who. They would run Dark Shadows, Blake 7. They would run a movie, and they did a whole, when they do those drives, those funding drives for PBS, it's like, hey, you could see, get the money. And that the 1 year they were doing the funding drive, they had Sylvester McCoy there, and some of the cast members, and they said like, hey, listen, we're doing the movie, Spielberg's involved, and they showed that scene where he was regenerating.
Yeah.
To that was like, oh look, we got a little bit of a clip on to that point, which is
it was a good try for something outside the BBC. Which, compared to everything we've had in the past like 4 or 5 years, Doctor Who wise, it was a masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of vampires, going into there and then the BBC, it seems like they've unearthed a horror show from 1968 that supposedly was supposed to be very scary, and it was ordered to be destroyed. No Such Thing as a Vampire. It was one of 6 episodes from the short-lived 1960s BBC anthology series Late Night Horror. Has been missing for more than a half a century, and it scarred viewers and caused an uproar that prompted the network to not only kill the show, but it is basically it was going to be erased on there. But it's like the last surviving copy was recently discovered by an English film buff engineer, Darren Payne, part of the film preservation group. Film is Fabulous, which I believe they're also responsible for the Doctor Who old stuff too. They announced this over this weekend on there. So there's some new stuff coming.
Is it really that scary? Like,
you gotta Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go right ahead.
You got to realize the censorship of the BBC at this time in the 60s and 70s was absolutely insane. They were still of that aristocratic mindset. They were coming out of that aristocratic mindset. Oh, well, we're the BBC. We're the number one. That kind of like almost aristocratic thought process that British people still had at the time. So the censorship was just, you look at like the most censored thing we have today in America, it was like 100 times bad for the worse for the BBC. That'll be something I'll need to look into. That'd be a good, interesting topic to talk about.
You're suggesting it's not that scary,
Probably not.
and just the BBC are pussies. Well, I mean that
Pretty
makes
much.
sense.
Pretty much.
Well, there is a Alfred Hitchcock Presents that was also banned, which basically, in fact, we showed it on Odyssey a while back because it's public. This episode is public domain, and basically, the episode itself was dealing about magic and all that at a carnival, and the ending scene is basically this guy he became mental to the whole situation where he started killing people, and he ended up putting the girl he loved under the buzzsaw, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this trick," and it's a giant buzzsaw, and he slices through her. But the thing is, you don't really see it; you hear it, but and you hear the screams, and then it just fades out, and that's it. It switches to Hitchcock. But they considered that also at that time period to be very very scary to the point, but that, like you said, like Alpo said, it's a different time period for people that looked at certain things like this that were, hey, it's scary, but it's not scary now. It's the same thing like for example, was it Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as scary as people think it was, it wasn't really that bad, to the point compared to the newer versions of the movie itself. You look at it and you're like, okay. You think that somebody got killed in the background.
See, and that's the
you
thing.
Heard it.
When you don't see it, your mind goes to the worst place, which sometimes is worse than anything you could think of, or actually they could actually show you. And that's, to me, it's like some of the best horror movies are like Jaws. The scariest part of Jaws was the anticipation of seeing the shark and what he could do. Like, you don't really see him for until the end of the movie, until Sheriff Brody's like chumming the waters and he pops out. I think that's really the first time you actually get a good look at the shark. It's this idea that your mind goes to a worse place than what they could actually show you. Like, the anticipation, the not knowing is worse than anything.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's like what was that? The Thing. You don't really see the monster in The Thing, right?
Wait, which one version are you talking? You're talking about Carpenter or the original black and white?
I've never seen the original black and white.
Because the black and white, you don't really get to see him that much.
Yeah.
There's like a scene here, a scene there where he jump scare pops out. There's a scene where he comes running into the room and they throw kerosene on him and set him on fire.
To me, that's like that kind of monster, the monster you don't see much of, is worse than like the big monster chasing you down the hallway, kind of Scooby-Doo kind of idea where you see the whole monster. That to me is so much worse. And I'd like that kind of monster movie.
Well, yeah. So looks like something else is going to be coming out. The same thing. Let's see if they put this on video. It's on them. And speaking of releases on video, we heard the announcement that they're remastering Kill Bill. Basically, it's already hit theatrical, where basically they've taken Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2, and smoshed them together into like a 3.5, 4 hour movie with extra scenes in it. Well, people ask, when are you getting the Blu-ray? When are we getting the Blu-ray? Well, the Blu-ray's already been announced. I believe they said July, sometime July, and it is the Kill Bill box set. It's going to run $50, ladies and gentlemen.
$50 for all that?
For all that, it's 4 discs.
Wow.
4 discs. So I would assume it has the original cuts. It probably has special cuts, and then it has the whole affair, and probably a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And then you see all the
That's
extras.
amazing for $50. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yes, but wait, there's more. As the guy said in Scary Movie, they are going to be releasing this also for a limited time on VHS.
What?
Yes, we're getting a VHS version of Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. You know, considering VHS ain't dead, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the people keep saying it. You know, on that. Oh, FK says it. Thank you, FK. The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Thank you. I couldn't even remember the name of it. That was the Hitchcock one that was banned.
Okay.
Yeah, she was besides herself at the end. Yes.
I remember in a film appreciation class in college, we watched Psycho. That's the only, and I think I saw The Birds one time when I was a kid. I haven't really seen any other stuff. But then they did that. Vince Vaughn did that crappy shot-for-shot remake of Psycho, which I'm like, if I want to watch the Psycho, I'll just go watch the original black and white. It's so much better.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's coming out. They're both coming out at the same time. It's probably the VHS version is going to be limited on there. I think it's $38.99, which is not too bad for 2 VHS set in this time period itself. You know, no one should have done it in Betamax. Just the best with people. Don't give them any ideas.
Put it on Laserdisc.
Hey, listen, it's Tarantino. You never know. He may turn around and say, "Let release it on Laserdisc and Betacam."
Kill Bill has some of the best the martial arts fight scenes in any movie. I love the one where she's fighting the other. God, I can't remember her name. Had the eye patch.
Oh, that's Daryl Hannah.
Yeah, and like she just plucks her eye out, just like it was nothing. So freaking. And then the Crazy 88s fight scene.
Well, yeah, good thing you brought up the Crazy 88s. From what I understand, it won't be in black and white.
The version I saw was not in black and white.
It is no. The fight scene
portions of the fight are in black and white.
Yeah, portions
Maybe
of the
I
movie.
don't remember that.
Yeah, it's in black. It starts in color, and then it jumps into black and white. Then it goes into a blue haze, and then comes into full color again. This because what happened was Tarantino had an issue with the MPAA releasing this, getting an NC-17 on this.
Really?
Yeah, that was the issue. So what he did was he created the black and white, sort of like a homage to the old samurai flicks.
Yes.
And so the blood doesn't look like it's basically, that doesn't look real to that point. But now on the whole bloody affair, we all know Andy Kaufman would have. The whole bloody affair, it has been restored in full color.
Oh, that's cool.
On there.
I'm glad I got my originals then.
Yeah. And no, I believe that in the box set you have the originals. The box set will have the original prints on there. But basically it's just Tarantino just wanted to show you what originally the print was supposed to look like.
That whole movie, those movies are just like the perfect throwback to martial arts, just hack and slash fun revenge movies. I love the scene where she's in the sushi house. We talked about that, I think, like a week or two ago.
Yeah, Oba, the actor, he passed away.
Yes, when he passed away, we talked about it. And it's like the perfect, like, one of those scenes where you like get the reluctant master to break his vow. We've seen those. And I love the line he says when he hands her the sword. He's like, "This is the most perfect sword weapon I've ever met." He says, and then he says, like, "If in your travels you meet God, you will cut him with this sword." It's like, when I first saw that, I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's badass." It gave me chills. It was such a good scene. Oba was the assistant, right?
Right. He was the assistant, the bald assistant.
And
the other guy was Sonny Chiba. Is
Sonny Chiba? Yeah,
Sonny Chiba played Hattori Hanzo.
I think he played in. He was
Two
the
of the greats.
Damio in, I think, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. I think it was
Yeah, he's been in a lot, and
the
he's mostly known for anyone in the Japanese world. He's mostly known as one of the reasons why we have Power Rangers, because Power Rangers and Kamen Rider, all that. He was in a lot of those, and he was
yeah.
still he was still making them. He was still making them before his death.
A lot of people don't realize Power Rangers goes back to or Super Sentai goes back to what, the 70s.
60s.
Yeah, wow, even longer.
Goes back to the 60s.
Because
that's how long.
Yeah.
Japan has had the curb on a lot of these hero stuff. Most people don't realize, even though people say, well, the Shadow, Tarzan, and all that, they were the first heroes and stuff. No, actually, Japan had it first. Really, Golden Bat. If you look back, Golden Bat was really they were telling these on the streets about the dead superhero who basically raised from the grave and fought against evil aliens and stuff like that. And this is before manga, before anime, basically it was there prior to that. I mean, the contributions and as we're going into talking about anime, the contributions of the Japanese into the entertainment world is vast, and they should have given more respect to the nature, because they've done so much to give us, and so much that has been taken. Saban, I forgot the other company on there. Not Golden Harvest, not Golden Harvest, but the people that handled Robotech and Sandy Frank. That's who I'm thinking of. Sandy Frank. Many others that have taken, Japanese anime and brought it into the U.S. Even though they butchered it and changed on there, but it gave people to say, "Hey, what is this?" And is there
Harmony
any more
Gold is Robotech.
Harmony Gold. Thank you. Harmony Gold.
Yeah.
Is there any more of this?
Yeah, a lot of people in America don't realize that the season that Mighty Morphin was based on was was 20 years old by the time Power Rangers came out.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they did Power Rangers, and that's why the footage, when you go from the fighting scenes to the kid scenes, like school, it looks so much more like the fighting scenes look so much more janky because they were filmed like 20 years before.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've only got half of the Super Sentai adapted, not even half of them, because some of them are just too janky. Lightspeed Rescue was based off of a Super Sentai based around trains, so that's why you have so many trains in Lightspeed Rescue. Mm-hmm. Their suits were they had a train track going across their chest and a wheel on their helmets as their visor, like a train wheel. It looked so janky and so goofy, but then they take an aspect. There's a lot of them. That's why in the second season of Mighty Morphin, you have the different suits. The different suits are from 3 or 4 different seasons, like the ninja suits, and then you had the alien rangers and all that. It was from 3 or 4 different seasons. They mashed up for the first 2 or 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin until they changed to Zeo. And then that was a whole nother can of worms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, as we move into the main story today, for those of you who are trying to figure out today's thumbnail, Locust Vampire says people are so out of touch. If you remember back in the day, for those of you as old as I am, and some of us here, I know Outpost probably will remember some of this because it's on the tail end of his youth as well. If you remember down in the days when you're walking down the street and the guy comes up to you and says, "Hey, check out my CD," to that point, if you remember that, they try to make their own music and rap songs and everything like that, and they try to promote it out to everybody. Sometimes I wouldn't take those and pop them in your computer because you never know, there might be a virus on there, back in those days. But if you popped it in your CD unit, it wouldn't be a problem. But the thing is that you had people out there that were trying to make their own music. Still to this day, you have it, and most of it is not the best in the world. If you guys can agree with me on that. Um, you know, but now what you've gotten, and there's been a lot of other YouTubers that has been talking about this as of late. People like Mugen Lord and a couple others that has been saying, in a way, things are being hijacked in certain ways. And let me just bring this up. Okay, you have the Hollywood elites, you have the people, the celebrities, and all that. It's the old joke of Ted Turner back in the days when he bought wrestling for the first time to his company. He would call up Vince McMahon and go, "Hey, Vince, I got me some wrestling. I got me wrestling." And Vince would tell him, he says, "Well, that's fine on there, Ted, but I don't have wrestling. I have sports entertainment." He told him on there. But nevertheless, you have people out there that are trying to promote anime in the West that basically shouldn't be nowhere near it. If you want to make a cartoon to the point, that's fine, but stay away from the anime. And some people says, well, what about bring it up here, what about the samurai one with Sam Jackson back in the day, Afro Samurai? I said, yeah, but see, Afro Samurai was in accordance with Japan into that point. And the thing is that that animation was worked onto that. But you have companies like, for example, Megan Thee Stallion, who's just now coming out with one called Hottie.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Afro Samurai, the show might have been made in America, but it was a manga.
Yeah, it was a manga. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was a
that,
manga. Yeah, which I have here. Hang on one second.
So people who say it's like a manga influenced by hip hop culture of the late 90s.
Right.
That's completely different than like people in Hollywood trying to make it. No, that's like ass backward from what we're seeing today.
Exactly. And I wanted to bring that up first because a lot of people said, well, what about Afro Samurai? No, Afro Samurai is technically anime because it was a manga. It was created by Japan, even though the music is RZA, Sam Jackson did the voice and all that when it came over here because it was promoted as that. And that's what they want. The creator, that's what the creator wanted to that point. But now we look back at Megan Thee Stallion. I know. And unfortunately, I can't show the video because we'll probably get slammed by the YouTube gods. But Megan is coming out with Hotties. It's co-directed by Carl Jones, the executive producer behind The Boondocks and Black Dynamite. Now, why did they go with this look? I have trying to make it look more like Japanese and stuff like that, and not go in the direction of Black Dynamite. Go figure.
I don't know. I kind of see Black Dynamite, the influence of Black Dynamite in this.
Kind of,
some extent.
But they're trying to promote it more toward that's Japanese anime. So if we get Black Dynamite up here,
yeah,
because
I liked Black Dynamite. I thought it was a funny show, fun, like a callback to those blaxploitation movies of the 70s.
Oh yeah,
it was
the
fun.
movie was excellent. The series was really good too.
Malcolm, what was his name? Jaleel White.
No, it was God, I can't think of his name
Spawn.
right now. I can't think of his name.
He's Spawn.
Yeah, he was Spawn.
He's like he's an actual martial arts fighter. He's a real fighter, and he has had some great videos of him talking about like different martial art movie stars, and they're fighting. Like he said of Van Damme, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like Van Damme could actually fight. Like if you fought like Jackie Chan's a performer. He's not really a fighter.
Right.
But I love him. Spawn is one of my favorite movies from the 90s.
Mm-hmm. And well, no, let's go back to this with Megan Thee Stallion. Now, the thing about this is, and it gets insane, is that her superpower is her butt. I'll say it again. Her superpower is her butt. and she sends out waves of power. So out, by smacking her butt cheeks together. Figure
No,
that one. I would expect that out of Black Dynamite, but not something that you're trying to push as Japanese anime.
that's just no.
No. It's just insane. It's just insane. It gets crazier because basically she's not the only one that's gotten involved with the anime world on there. Will Smith is creating his own on there. He has a production deal with Studio Azuka deal, which I'm not familiar with Azuka, but he's trying to create his own anime project right now. His son, Jaden, has already come out. This is on Netflix currently. Is something called Yoki.
What?
Hang on one second. I'll just get this. I'm sorry. Freaking Restream is a little slow today. Yeah, there we go. It was created by Ezra Koenig. It basically Jaden Smith is the lead voice actor for this. It's something like Demons or something like that. Something like a K-pop Demon Hunter or something to that point. This is on Netflix currently. It's gotten mixed reviews to this point. I mean, the Decider wrote an article that says Neo Yoki is the most insane show on Netflix.
This animation here, this drawing is pretty basic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, Snob. It looks like one of those old Flash videos you'd see in the early 2000s.
Looks like I drew it.
And of course,
that is not what the level of quality you'd expect from a Japanese animation for sure. Like for a manga type, that's pretty basic.
Well, they probably spent all the money on Jude Law, Susan Sarandon, Jason Schwartzman, who also have voice roles in this series.
Which is funny because you really don't necessarily need all these big stars to voice your stuff.
No,
right?
You don't.
Yeah,
Disney got into it.
We're seeing,
with the Lion King and beyond to try to help promote the movies more. But
that's
it's
Disney.
Not necessary.
Yeah.
It's not like it started to become a thing. For they're like, oh, it's we've got these famous people who are voicing our characters, so more people would come and watch the movie. But if you're starting out and stuff, you just you kind of.
This is the thing, though. I see a lot of videos where like, oh, famous voice actors you didn't know were in this series, and it's all these movie stars. No, they're not voice actors; they're movie stars coming in to do voice roles. We've seen a lot the past few years, especially with Invincible, that they have to sacrifice quality of animation to get these big stars in. They didn't need Sandra Oh as the mom. I mean, she's great and everything. She does great in the role, but you could have gotten that's the thing with voice acting. You don't need these name brand, these huge household names. I was going to say.
Well, that's a budgeting problem, right? Like.
Yes, that's what the thing is.
Where to put their money?
That's what I'm saying. They're taking out of the animation budget to pay for these large voice actors. When in the 90s, it used to be the complete opposite. You've had these character actors who play these characters in these movies, and then they do a cartoon show, like Back to the Future. That was not Christopher Lloyd voicing Doc Brown, nor Marty McFly being voiced by Michael J. Fox. Now, Christopher Lloyd came back and did like live action snippets to introduce the episodes, but Michael J. Fox or I want to say Tom Wilson was involved in it. I'm not completely sure as Biff, but you didn't have these big stars coming back and have to pay for it. This is what happens when you have big stars come in. You have to sacrifice in other places, and this is the kind of shitty animation we get.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
Well, I think
if you
it
go
kinda
back,
depends on
go
your
ahead,
it depends a
Scott.
little bit on your like, for Disney when they started bringing in big names to do their I mean, they've already have a good budget for the movie,
Yeah, Disney could
and
afford it.
they're doing good animation, and then they're like, "Hey, we wanna push this up a notch, and we think if we have these famous actors come in, that'll make the movie more saleable to people and we'll make more money." Right? So that's different than going, we gotta have these famous people in it, and then let's do a crappy movie, and, yeah, you know,
Snob, we're saying the same thing in different ways, my dude. I'm saying that they're bringing in these big names to get publicity for the shows and movies, but then they can't only have these other non-Disney shows projects have only a certain amount of budget. Disney basically has a limited budget. Come on, I mean, what 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 cap are they going to put on a Disney production that they think is going to work? But this there's no I don't know what I want to say, but the robot there looks, I think you said it best, Stop. It looks so basic.
Yeah, that's
well,
what.
it's just a bunch of geometric shapes plopped together,
Yeah, pretty
basically.
much.
Yeah, that's what happened
It's
with
like they were
one anime series. What was it called? In Another World with My Smartphone. Season 1 was really good. They come into season 2 when they start to introduce the what they call the gears, which are something similar to what this is. And it was like geometric shapes. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Did not someone pay attention to the manga? To the point.
This looks like someone was graphing it out, like starting it out, graphing it out, trying to create a basic design, and just like, okay, right, I'm out of time. Here's your robot.
Yeah, exactly. And this is
Yeah.
happening all over. It's all there. But getting it on voice acting, there was a time back in the day that you had companies like when Pioneer was part of the anime, because they worked with a studio together, and then Central Park Media, a couple others, that they did add a young actor or two in the day. But, not they didn't pay much. For example, Kiefer Sutherland, did the anime movie Armitage 3, and he was part of that, and he was paid average royalties for that movie. But it was not it was promoted on the box, but it wasn't like advertised out. Kiefer Sutherland's in an anime movie, to that point.
Well, they didn't do that. They did that just in American animation too. My thing is, I was I know one of y'all's favorite movie, Titan AE. I love it. You had Matt Damon, Drew Barrymore, and I think Bill Pullman. You had great actors, but of course Jed Leguizamo. Ugh, I can't stand him. But the animation style was still beautifully done. They didn't sacrifice the animation style to bring in these big names. And
Well,
we're seeing
the problem with this
more and more of that.
is that this is a Netflix show, right? When you make a
Mhm.
movie, you have direct, I had made this movie, it cost me this much, I'm getting this much money back. And you can very easily see your return on investment, so to speak. But this is a Netflix show that'll be on, Netflix with, thousands of other shows. How are you going to, can you really say, oh, Netflix is going to have this many more subscribers if we put these famous people in to voice these roles? Probably not. Is anybody subscribing to Netflix just for one show? Some that might happen with HBO with Game of Thrones or The Sopranos or something, but this is this is not that. So your return on investment's pretty weak for this kind of thing. It seems like quite a waste.
And then you have someone like I Show Speed. I don't know his music on that. I've just been hearing his name around. He's also doing a scripted anime series, which he's going to, of course, obviously he's going to voice himself. The people involved in it is like Matt Owens, former co-showrunner of the live action One Piece, and Brian Robbins, who's in the new studio Big Shot Productions. And you're creating all these guys are creating new production companies just to jack hey, there's going back to say that my mixtape, they're trying to create their own mixtape anime.
Mhm.
And here's the worst part about it. Now, we got Jaden Smith, we got Will Smith, you got Megan Thee Stallion, I Show Speed on there. Mugen Lord, his video, he brought up a good premise to situation. I know, Snob, you saw this, you saw the video too. He says that the people says, well, you got the lack of diversity in the show. You don't have enough this minority in the show and that. But someone like Mugen Lord, who has put a character or two in his comic book adaptation, which I think he is going to be animating in it also as well. People complain about him and says, where's your representation? It's like, what do you mean? I have my characters. This is what I thought up. And this is, on there. So, but you as a black man should have more black people on there. And the right black people. That's the way these people say. Which is the wrong thing. It's like, what do you mean more of the right black people? What are you talking about? How black do you need for a character to be in a series? Why can't you have someone who has their own dream for their show or for their animation or something like that? Let them do it the way they want of it. If you feel that, okay, he don't have enough representation, go make it yourself. And you'll find how hard it is to do something, because you got these armchair generals out there who are just, they're calling anime P to the E to the D to the O as of late. Again, you got organizations like the United Nations, Collective Shout, Morality Media wanting to shut them down from the source. Then you got payment processors wanting to shut down anime to the point because they're saying it's not right. What do you mean it's not right? Anime has been around for decades. No one had a major problem years ago, even though some of the stuff that came over here was edited, yes, but people should see the original cuts of them to that point. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
My thing is, I think this is all a distraction from the bigger problems going on. This is them trying to latch on to a popular genre and try to earn a buck. This is not anime. Nothing about this picture right here screams anime to me. It screams American animation, but not Japanese anime. No. Just because I stick a sticker that says gold on a piece of turd does not make it 24 karat. And this is not anime in my opinion.
Well, I think, the heart of the issues, what you're talking about is these, I guess you'd call them, I don't know, posers, amateurs, or not, true animators coming into the space and doing something. But let me just say before I get into that, I am also a fan of insert name thing that you like. And my favorite part of insert name thing is character / episode / scene that is also your favorite. Subscribe to my podcast.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And that kind of sums up exactly what these guys are doing. And this is what what's his name there was speaking about in his video, that these various, he was lamenting that anime is being, I guess, dumbed down. Would be the word, or at least the quality is being reduced overall because various other people are coming in who are not really animators there. Simply it makes the talking about rap, right? Q, he's talking about rap as well, and this happened in rap where everybody was rapping, sports stars and whatever. I'm now a rapper on the side too, and this is kind of rap is not the thing anymore. It's animation, and everybody's jumping into that. They're all jumping on the bandwagon. Now, I'm of sort of two views for this. Now, I'm all for gatekeeping and keeping out people. I mean, that's what a science fiction snob does, right? In the science fiction universe. However, I mean, I wouldn't stop these people from coming in and doing whatever it is they want to do. If they want to make an animation, sure. But as the consumers of that, it's up to us to come out and say, no, that's crap, and I'm not going to watch it or pay for it or whatever if I don't like it. And to sort of push them back and let the cream rise to the top, per se. So, I'm happy that people have a chance to do this. But we do know that there will be some sorting out until these people, get sort of, they have to come and have the chance to fail. And unfortunately, there'll be some big name studios who will throw money at, Will Smith's animation, even though he has no idea what he's doing, because his name is Will Smith, instead of putting it on someone else who's less well known, who perhaps might have a better quality product, which is kind of unfortunate. But it's going to happen, and I think eventually, just like rap, you don't see Shaquille O'Neal rapping anymore. That will eventually go over. People will go on to the next big thing, and it'll kind of settle back. So I can't really agree with, I don't think anime is going to be ruined by this sort of thing. There'll be some years where it will be less. There might be more choices, but there'll be, a lot of those choices will be on the poor quality side of it, unfortunately. But the cream will rise to the top, and I think it'll sort it out. I don't think animation overall will, get destroyed by this, just like rap was not destroyed by that.
Well, the thing is that they have the terminology, we call it anime tourists. You say gatekeeping. There was a time, we allowed people to come in and say, "Hey, listen, we're watching anime." Say, "Oh, it's horrible, Japanese stuff like that. Why don't you give it a try?" We were okay, people coming in. Now it's gotten to the point, like I said, the anime tourists, that they're not familiar with most of this. I had a girl the other day online that she just literally the series was called Clanan, if I'm pronouncing that right. It's a bit sort of risque, and she was like chastising the characters and saying, "Oh, I feel like a P to the E to the D to the O watching this." And I said, "What? You have no idea what this series is." You're just looking at the characters. You're looking at on there, but you're not looking at the story of what it is. It is technically a story of family, of relationships to that point. Yes, it's a bit risque in certain things, but that is part of what they call in the ecchi situation on there. But it does have a very good plot, and it promotes family awareness to that point. And and then she was just completely chastising it, and she, believe me, Twitter freaking exploded on her like crazy. The anime fans exploded on her.
Yeah, I think the problem is, like, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, we could criticize media, and if she wants to think that, she can. The problem is with the creators or the rest of us giving too much, credence to these people and what they're saying when they don't know what they're talking about, right? Like, that this person that you're describing obviously doesn't know what they're really talking about, and I would hate to have the creator affected by that. My advice to creators would be, do your work and ignore most of the fans. Don't bother talking to them. Do what you think is right, and keep putting out quality product. Ignore the haters, so to speak, right, and the trolls.
Well, you had you just in the last couple of days, you had what was it? The people behind Gotcha Tua on there. They were attacked, and they've by those anime tourists, and they've pulled their accounts. They've pulled their X accounts, their Instagram accounts,
which is sad because the real fans won't get to interact with them.
Right.
You know, these creators, because some, you know, a couple people are jerks. You know, the part of this though is this is a kind of an opportunity for people like you and me, because you know I kind of started my channel because I wanted to find, you know, the good science fiction out there, the old stuff, and bring
Mhm.
it to, you know, newer science fiction readers who are stuck, you know, everything Star Wars or Star Trek, and just reading Star Wars and Star Trek books, which I think are personally, the low end of the sci-fi genre. So, I mean, this gives us an opportunity to find the good stuff and promote the good stuff and say, hey, no, don't watch Will Smith's crap if you think it's crap. And, you know, hey, there's some
Mhm.
these animation out there that's quite good, and you should check it out. Like you've suggested some to me, Q.
Y-
Um,
Yeah, Hideki Anno, who is the man who created Neon Genesis Evangelion, one of the big top, you know, animes out there. You know, he says anime should not change for the global audiences. Evangelion, he says, fans must be the ones to adapt.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I mean, we like anime because it is Japanese and it's got a different style. If you just want American style, then you just watch an American one, or you know, you create your own American style one. I mean, that's part of the interest of seeing different cultures and how they you know, show their media. That's the most, you know, interesting part for me. I mean, I think that what you said, what he said was goes for just any general creator anyway. You should go and create whatever it is you think, the best that you can, and then put it out there for people, and, you know, take feedback to a certain extent, but
Mhm.
you need to, you know, understand the difference between, you know, people saying, oh well, you know, you need to tighten up the dialogue, or you know, this could be better, constructive criticism, versus I don't see as much of, you know, me in this anime, and therefore you need to change it so there's more of me in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, like that on that video. He said it best on there. You know, back in the day, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, and a lot of the other series, for the reason they love the characters. They didn't see them. They saw them acting out the movie. You know, there are guys that go out there and say like, you know, powering up. You know, because they love the characters. They didn't say, well, you know, where's me in that series? No, you felt, because you like the characters, you felt yourself embraced with that character itself. You know, in Dragon Ball and Goku itself, you know, people loved Goku and Vegeta, those two characters. You know, for that reason, that's why that series was so popular. You know, throughout the world itself, not only, you know, in the West, it did down South America. You know, throughout the world, that they loved the Dragon Ball series.
Yeah, it's not, but you know, it's really not. It has more to do with, you know, culture and Western culture, and the 20 something age group that have come up now. It's not really our age group, but there's this, you know, group of people
It's the
who,
Zers. It's the Gen Z. Let's admit it. It's the Gen
yeah,
Zers. You know,
there's a, and not all of them, but there's some key group of them
not
who
all of
seem
them.
to think that everything needs to be made for me, and I need to be see myself
Mhm.
in everything. And if I don't see
Mhm.
myself in there, I'm going to start complaining about it and making a big stink and acting quite entitled, as opposed to, you know, hey, you know, I'm the creator. I'm making whatever it is I'm making, and I'm going to make it the way I want. And we used to just go, we'd accept that. We'd like, oh, this guy made this cartoon, book, whatever, movie, whatever. I like it. I don't like it. Maybe I express my opinion about it, and or, you know, and I move on to something else, or I don't watch that because I don't like the way it's done. But now it's like, oh, there's this show that I don't like. Well, you know, you need to change all these things in the show in order for me to like it. Well, no, I mean, that's not the way it normally works. You know, go and find something you like, not pick something and then try to force them to change it into what you like.
Well,
I mean, if that happened, I'd be off. You know, my wife watches the women's channel, the Hallmark channel. I gotta, you know, phone up Hallmark and tell them to change all their Hallmark movies. I want to see more explosions, car chases, and gun battles in the next Hallmark movie. Come on. No, they're gonna tell me to take off and, you know, go watch
Take off,
Die Hard or something. Jeez.
Well, so many creators nowadays, they'll retcon their own creations just to please these people who are complaining. Look at what J.K. Rowling did with Dumbledore. Throughout those 7 books, there's no there's nothing to tell us if he's gay or straight. That it just tells us he's a old man who's the most powerful wizard in the world. But now, like 5, 10, 15 years later, oh, Dumbledore was gay. Where is that coming from?
Yeah, that's the creator's fault, and they're being weak.
Yeah, I'm giving an example of people actually.
Yeah, no, I
doing
agree.
What you're
I agree with you.
Oh, did we lose Madman? There we. Or
No,
like,
I agree. I'm just saying that you got to stand up for yourself and say
there are like in the Percy Jackson books, Annabeth is described as a blonde-haired surfer girl with gray eyes. Why? All of a sudden now she's a short black girl in the TV series. Okay, she does a great job in the TV series, but where in the book does it say Hermione all of a sudden is black? It's so ridiculous that they'll pander, and I applaud J.K. Rowling in other ways for standing up for herself. But then in the creative, like in her personal, like political views, she stands up for herself. But why aren't you standing up for yourself, lady, in your artistic views?
Well, I mean, part of the problem with that is, you write the book and then you sell the rights to the television or for the movie, and then they have some creative, depending on the contract, they have some creative control over what they do. And you know how Hollywood is. They're like, oh, we want to get more diversity, whatever, into this for whatever reasons.
Black Snape.
Yeah, and then you don't really have as much control over it once you sell it to them. But
so Black Snape now will change the story of James Potter completely, for the worse. If you think about it.
You're right, exactly right, because you turn it more, and you wonder why the actress that playing Ginny Weasley, walked away from the role.
Well, I don't actually think the Black Snape thing is going to change it much, because I think Potter was.
No, it will. It does. It does.
No, it will
completely.
It will.
It's already.
I don't think it will.
James seem like a racist because he bullied Snape. Remember, he bullied Snape relentlessly in the movies, in the flashbacks, in the Half-Blood Prince. This will give it a race overtone that you can't ignore.
Well, I don't agree, because I think it was already a racist overtone anyway. I mean, James Potter was bullying this like albino kid, and now it's the opposite. Now he's bullying the black kid,
right?
So, it was racist before.
Albino kid? What albino kid in Harry Potter are you talking about? Snape is not albino. Do you know what albino is?
He's pretty much is. I mean, he's as white as white could be.
No, he's not. He's dark. He had dark black hair, greasy hair. This is how he would describe it. He was not albino. Is a complete, like, you're missing collagen in your skin. You have white hair. You can't be out in the sun. Snape was just a greasy little bookworm with long black hair. That is not albino in the least.
Well, he was like maybe half albino.
No,
his skin color was half albino.
The racist one in that was Snape. In that situation was Snape. Listen to how he hated half-bloods. He hated basically everyone who was not a pureblood, even though he himself was a half-blood, which is it's in the books. It's one of the reasons Voldemort takes a liking to Snape, because they share that they're both half-bloods with a hatred for purebloods.
Mm-hmm. But see, the thing is that you look to the way it's perceived in the movies. When you look at the movies itself and you perceive, they hated Snape, just, they were bullying Snape. But when you look at that you have a black Snape, then you get to the point that people are going to say, see, it's the white people don't like the black people. This is how, this is how they'll promote it to that point on certain radicals, in the industry. And they've been doing this with a lot of films as of late. Look at who are most of the bad guys. Look at who are most of the bad guys now these days in most of the action films. It's the white guy. now these
Now,
days.
racism has always been a theme in Harry Potter, but never. It's been about blood race, not skin race.
Right.
Like,
But they're interjecting real world situations now into the story itself. That this has always been a situation in Hollywood. They want to interject this is why Tarantino's on his way out. He's getting out of this because people have lost the artistic expression of the story and interjecting the politics into the story because that they're forced to that point. And it says, did you really have to hire an actor that was either black or Asian for a role that was not deemed for that character? Did you were they the best choice? And I guarantee you he was chosen nothing against the actor. He was chosen very good actor. Yeah, very good actor.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, was he chosen directly because of the color of his skin?
What was that Chadwick Bronson baseball movie?
This has been going on with Hollywood for quite some time, and now they want to interject that. Well, they've been doing it for a while with anime and manga. They've been trying to, anime and manga are the last bastion of our, fandom that basically is still fighting to survive. Everything else has been infected like a parasite.
It's the last bastion of untainted entertainment and untainted by this idea of we have to have every different colors of the truth is, they don't.
Japanese
Hollywood doesn't want to have every group in there, just certain groups, right?
Yeah,
this
Japanese
group
animes had a good bastion of people in there. They have broken because they said, "Well, you don't have transgender in there." Sure, they had. They've had. You go back a decade or two and some of the old stuff, but they've always had it.
But anime now is the last bastion of that forced Hollywood. You've got to have these certain things in there, and it's only really two groups that Hollywood demands to be in there. There's thousands of other different groups, but they don't care about those groups being in there. So you're right, it's the last bastion, and I hope they continue to fight and do what they do the stories, the creators do the stories that they want to do, and then we can watch them or not watch them if we feel they're not diverse enough or too diverse or whatever.
Well, there's a group right now trying to change because Pride Month is next week, and there's talk that the government said they're trying to eliminate it for the month of June, and there are those online that are trying to push a Japanese Art Freedom Month for the month of June.
Really?
Hashtag Japanese Art Matters, hashtag Japanese Art Freedom Month, or JAM, as they're calling it, JAM also. And, there is that push now online by creators, those who love anime, who love manga, the true fans out there that, that are pushing to try to save this from Hollywood itself.
Well, the truth is the way to push back against these people is to outdo whatever it is they do. Just go even further and couch everything in the same way that they couch it, which demonstrates their hypocrisy. And either they have to fold due to that hypocrisy, or they just kind of give up. And that's the way to do it. Say, okay, well, you're stepping on we're gonna reframe Japanese people as a small group of people that are being prejudice is showing against them, and you're trying to destroy Japanese culture, etc. And that's the perfect way to do it. Those people are smart. Good on them.
And the thing is, it's art. Their works are based on art itself. If you look, Studio Ghibli is the perfect example of really, really beautiful anime work of art. You look at all their movies that they've made in the past decade or so.
Oh yeah.
They've won awards. It's beautifully done.
Yeah.
Some of it's based on mythology of Japan. You know,
Yeah, that fish one. My family made me watch the one about the fish.
with the fish.
Yeah,
My
I can't remember what
favorite
it's
is
called. Great,
Howl's Moving
great.
Castle, which was a mixture of beautiful Japanese art with like almost a European British mythology. That was Christian Bale played Howl, and
Well, I don't think
one
I
of my
saw that one.
favorite movies of all time. I recommend it. It's amazing. It's beautifully
If
drawn.
if you want to do diversity, that's fine. But what I think you should be doing is instead of trying to insert some sort of diversity into every story, which is foolish. I mean, you do a story on a certain time period, certain place and time. You're not going to find groups of every type of person there. It's not going to happen. If you want more diversity, just make sure that you are doing stories from from each diverse group that you want to highlight. Like, why don't do it that way instead of having every story has to be this mishmash of the all sameness of one of every type of group person in it. No, pick a group and do a story from them. Pick another group, do a story about from there, taken from that group. Take a story from this group, then this group, and this group, and this group, and then you've got more stories, more diversity in stories as opposed to
Well,
just the diversity in the characters in the
had
story.
diversity in stories.
Yeah, we have.
We've
Well,
always had it. There's no such thing as that we've never had it. We have always have it. We've had black superheroes. We've had Spanish superheroes. We had Asian superheroes. We've had superheroes that dealt with racism. And they look at the X-Men. The X-Men,
okay, but what I'm trying to say, Q, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is that if you are, let's take Hollywood, for example. Okay, too many of the stories in the movies in Hollywood are quote white stories. We need more black stories in there. Okay, well, go find some black creators, find a story about the black experience, and put out a movie or a book or whatever on that. And we have done that. The Color Purple, Roots, are some examples. Now, that said, there hasn't been as many of those as quote the quote white stories, which I don't really think these exist. White people are many different types of people. But if you feel that way, then you should be going and getting more of these other stories that are reflect the that experience of that group, as opposed to trying to put can you imagine doing Roots and saying, well, we need half the slaves have to be white because diversity, or let's throw in a couple of this and that, or there's not enough Southeast Asians in there, and you need a couple of Russians and whatever, right? Like that would be foolish.
I wouldn't use Roots as a good example.
Okay, a good example would be a white Black Panther, because
no. Let me explain why.
A white Black Panther follows a storyline in the comics, but T'Challa has a mixed son who becomes the next Black Panther, and he's a white boy. So why don't we do that? Why don't we have characters like Static, Icon? I'm looking at. I would love a standalone Storm movie about her, or Bishop, or all these amazing African American characters. That I'd love a modern day Spawn. It's been how many years since we've had a Spawn TV show or movie?
I know there's been discussions with what's his name that they've been working. They are working on more
American characters that have completely been ignored because these idiots in their ivory towers in these studios don't think that's what people want, when it's exactly what people want.
Yeah. See what I mean by the Roots situation. Alex Haley plagiarized Roots. Most people don't realize that. He's been sued for a long time ago. I think the book was called Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm using it as an example for picking a story out of a group, as opposed to taking a story and mixing in all the groups in the story.
Right.
Pick a story from each group and do that.
I'm not knocking on the production itself. The production was very well done. Yeah, the production was well done. The story itself, is questionable.
Yeah, well, I don't care about, I'm using, like I said, this example. Use whatever you want. Go to every ethnic group, country in the world, and say, I'm going to make, there's 200 countries. I'm going to make a movie from each one this year. Fine, go ahead. There you go. There's your diversity. You don't need to put a person from each of the 200 countries into every story that you write.
See, my favorite on Ghibli is Spirited Away from 2001 and Princess Mononoke.
I haven't seen Mononoke.
Mononoke, believe it or not, Mononoke is about environmentalism.
Yeah, I know what it's about.
Yeah.
I like Howl's Moving Castle, Arrietty, and My Neighbor Totoro.
And then of course Grave
Totoro,
of the Fireflies, which if you ever sit to watch Grave of the Fireflies, be sure you have a box of tissue with you. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, you cry in this movie.
That's right. They did Tales from Earthsea as well.
Yeah, they did that.
I liked the miniseries they did of Earthsea on the Sci-Fi Channel. I haven't got. That's a book series I'll need to read.
But I would recommend Grave with Fireflies, but I do give that warning. It's basically, it came out in 1988. It's about a raw look of the struggles of two orphan siblings trying to survive Japan during the Second World War after the bomb drops. And what they go through, the illnesses they go through, because they were caught in the backdraft of the explosion. So they're irradiated, and most of the people around them are irradiated. So it's a real depressing story, but it's very beautifully done. Ghibli had this one straight out when his early works. Another thing to look at is
Ponyo is the one I saw.
Which one?
Yeah, Ponyo.
Ponyo. Yeah,
one with the fish.
Yeah, that's a real good one too.
That's a great one. It's great. I love the animation. Everything's beautiful in that. Great story.
I don't think my kids ever had a stinker.
Yeah, no, they haven't. They haven't. They've been right on target on their films. They're very, very good. They brought in a lot. That's why I always recommend people, if you're getting into anime for the first time, look up Robot Carnival. Robot Carnival is a mixture of most of these guys that have created some of this fantastic, beautiful stuff. It is, 5 or 6 different stories created by different animators, and they're different. This shows the whole range level of Japanese animation of what they can do. And basically, when you look at it, and you're like, "Holy shit!" And these are some of the people that have gone on to Studio Ghibli. They created Akira. They created Ghost in the Shell. Most of these other top-notch films and series, they went on to create. So when you see Robot Carnival, and you're like, "Holy shit!" And Robot Carnival used to be on the Sci-Fi Channel. They used to play it all the time on the Sci-Fi Channel. On that, and it's beautifully done. I have it on the new 4K remaster. I just got it recently. It's beautiful in 4K. Highly recommend it. Go get it. Go grab it. Grab it as physical media. That should be one of the ones in your collection. Is Robot Carnival. But
all right, Robot Carnival.
Robot Carnival. Yeah, you can see it online. It is some of the streaming sites are playing it to that point. Like I said, it's a lot of great animators all woven up together. You don't see these two that often. It's the same thing like with the Animatrix. You remember the Animatrix when that came out? Mm-hmm. You had a whole slew of different animators.
Halo Legends was the same way. You had different stories in the Halo universe. The animation was. They even had one. It was Spartan 1313. He was the unluckiest Spartan, but it was so, like in a Akira Toriyama Dragon Ball Z kind of style. It's like he blasts with energy blasts with his fists. It was funny.
Both of those are quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, this is what's going on. They're trying to make anime manga the new mixtape. Trying to push it out to you, say, "Hey, listen, this is what I'm doing," and hopefully they don't get away with this. If they want to make their own animation, that's fine. Go ahead, make the story. Don't add on, "Hey, it's an anime," or like Ted Turner said, God rest his soul. "Yeah, I'm in wrestling." Don't add.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really care about that because people are going to say what they say. It's up to us not to get tricked.
Exactly.
Right? Like we have to be, intelligent consumers, and just because some guy comes out and calls it an anime, Oh, well, then I'll consume that. I mean, if you're stupid enough to just consume whatever they tell you, I mean, you need to.
I mean, I've seen some bad stuff, stuff that's been quoted to be, Japanese anime, and it's like, that's not Japanese anime. It's nowhere near the art of it.
Just thinking of this topic before we were going to talk about it. I mean, I was kind of looking back and looking at, like, what am I, consuming media, visual media wise, that I actually enjoy, that I'm actually looking forward to or enjoying. I mean, there's very little out there coming from Western media that is any good. It used to be where you'd get, most things would be good. It just whether you would like it or not. But now it's like, I have to, something coming out from a big studio, it might be garbage, even though it would be something that I would like. I have to try to find good stuff. It's so hard.
Ralph Bashki. Hold on a second.
What are you watching that's coming out now?
Hold on,
that's not
second.
old. That's good. Like season 2 of Knights of the Seven Kingdoms. Waiting for that. That'll be another year or two. Hold
on a minute. Put in time out. There we go. No, we had a bit of a troll problem in the chat. Now, for those of you out there that you were trying to troll and you're trying to curse out, we're here to talk about things. And for someone to say what they just said, that's you're getting a timeout. Normally, I let people say what they want to say to the point, but that was very derogative, and that's not something we have here in this art. Take it elsewhere to other shows that have drama and situations. We are not a drama place. We're here to discuss properly on there. If you don't like this content, go elsewhere. We respect our viewers, people in the chat, but when you come in just like that, I'm not even going to mention who you are, your name, or anything to that name. Bye. Just leave. That's not fair to anyone else who's watching this program itself.
I shouldn't answer the question.
No, not you. Oh. No, what I was about to say before I was interrupted onto there by that. Ralph Bashki is releasing a lot of his stuff in 4K now. Great artist. I mean, was it Fire and Ice is getting a 4K remaster, which is a beautiful. I'm waiting. Did they give the Lord of the Rings one? Oh yeah, I did get the Lord of the Rings. They did that on there. I'm waiting for them to do what is it? The Fritz the Cat in 4K. I don't know if they've done that yet. One of his most controversial series. Movies that he did. Bashki's done Mighty Mouse and a lot of other stuff to that nature, but it's some great animation. To that point. Outpost, are you back yet?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I had some lag issues.
Yeah, no, we had a flagging issue just a minute ago. I had to
step away for a few minutes. I miss all the fun.
You miss all the fun. You miss the language. So that's why we have it. That's why for you out there, content creators, always have your settings on. Especially for language, because you get some people that come in there that just they want to be a-holes to the point. And I don't like that. We're here to discuss things. We're here to have fun. But if you want to spoil the situation and say what you just said, go elsewhere. This is not the place to do it.
I'm the only a-hole on this channel. I don't like people coming in and taking my spot.
Yeah, Spectre is and since we're about almost coming to the end on there, we're waiting for our fourth to show up on here. But one thing we haven't done yet is our silent moment.
Let's see what.
Well, this week on our silent moment, we have to do a congratulations to the New York Knicks, who have just swept Cleveland Cavaliers, And the reason that you may say, so, well, what's Danhausen from the WWE have to do with this? Well, it seems that Danhausen is one of the reasons why the New York Knicks are where they are, because this has been going back and forth for quite some time now. It goes back a bit where Danhausen and Stephen A. Smith, if you know Stephen A. Smith from the ESPN shows, uh, he got. If you're familiar with Danhausen, he curses people. Like not language wise, but he gives a curse, and strange things happen. And since Stephen tried to sort of get into, saying like, yeah, get out of here, Danhausen cursed him and cursed the New York Knicks. And this is back when they were doing the Hawks, playing the Hawks, and they weren't doing too well. And some guy decided to, because one thing about Danhausen, if you want the curse lifted, you're going to have to give a little moolah. So someone went to Cameo, and Cameo, you buy celebrities that have them give you a happy birthday, something like that. He sent money to Danhausen and said, "Please lift the curse. Lift the curse. I want the Knicks to win." So the curse was lifted, except for Stephen Smith. And basically, the Knicks are on a 9-0 run right now, going into the championships. We have to wait to see who they're going to play in the playoffs. They got about a couple of days off, so patiently for that. Last night it erupted crazy. Last night, to a point, stuff like this was coming out online. Danhausen. The other wrestler on there is the Miz, because Danhausen and the Miz have been going at it. If you haven't watched it yet, when they brought the Miz Danhausen into the WWE, they sort of paired him up against the Miz, and it's been hysterical. They've brought back the fun into wrestling again, even with midgets, to that point. And it has been really, really fun, to the point that the Knicks have given him his own T-shirt. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Danhausen Uncursed Knicks T-shirt. It is available right now on I believe it's on the WWE website. It says, "You are uncursed."
Well, I was going to say that this guy looks crazy, but now that I've seen the curse works, I'm not going to say anything bad about him.
And considering how popular Danhausen T-shirts have been selling, they have been selling faster than most of the average wrestlers currently and past. They say they're outselling some of the Hogan stuff, some of the Macho Man, straight up and down the line, and the current wrestling rosters. It's been since he got there, because most people are the wrestling fans know Danhausen from the small leagues, and we're talking small leagues where it's like 100 people in a room watching wrestling. And he was popular there. Went over to AEW, was injured over there. Then they kind of sort of cut his contract. Came to the WWE. Started this whole "You Are Cursed" situation, even though he's been doing "You Are Cursed" since forever. But he started bringing it into the WWE, and the fans have been loving it. And then he shows up with freaking midget wrestlers. I mean, he showed up. I was at WrestleMania with a bunch of midget wrestlers. Then he showed up at Backlash. The whole gimmick was he was supposed to do a tag team match. He couldn't find anyone to tag team with him. So he decided to build his own wrestler. So he had this whole machine. There was a whole gimmick with the machine and stuff like that. And the machine wasn't doing too well. He brings it out, loads it out, and a little midget comes running out. Little midget Danhausen. And it goes through the whole match and stuff like that. And the other wrestler decides to drag midget Danhausen, throws him back into the machine, closes up the machine. The machine kicks on again, and a whole dozen midget wrestlers come flying out of there, kicking the guy's butt. I mean, it is a lot of fun if you're watching on there. But also, what's going on with the Knicks? You have to put to the point that the Knicks themselves haven't been in Eastern Conference final. Eastern Conference haven't won the conference since 1999, and haven't won a championship since I think the 70s. Now,
They're the Chicago Cubs of baseball or of basketball.
now I'm going to put a little question out there. Today versus 1999, what things were around then that you think aren't around today?
Common sense.
That's
Taste.
well. Here we go. Last time the Knicks won the Eastern in 1999. Of course, obviously, we had Blockbuster, we had video stores, we had AOL Messenger, we had discs, the little computer discs, CRT TVs. Netscape Navigator was the top search engine, not Google, but Netscape Navigator, if you remember that. And of course, we had smoking and non-smoking sections. And something that I was a fan of, the Butterfinger BBs.
Those are gone?
Good.
What?
They've been gone for quite some time. I don't know if you could still get them, but I know they've been gone for a long time now.
Oh yeah, they had the best campaign with Butterfingers with the Simpsons.
Yeah. Yep.
Bite my Butterfingers.
Next to the Reggie bars. I don't know if you guys ever saw the Reggie bars. I know.
Sorry, I wasn't around in the 60s.
Yeah, that was in the 70s. But yeah, Outpost, you wouldn't remember it. I don't know if Snob would remember it.
They were right there by the Charleston shoes. Good God.
The Reggie bars were Reggie Jackson from the New York Yankees.
Yeah, I don't think we had them in Canada.
They basically made a candy bar from Reggie Jackson. It was the Reggie bar, to that point. And it was popular for years, till Reggie Jackson left the Yankees. To that point. But yeah, these are the things that, the last time the Knicks won the East, these items were available and now they're not. Think about that for a minute. It's amazing how technology changes and products changes through the years when you look back at certain events, even historical events. At that point, that certain things don't exist. I mean, the talk of having VHS back machines and VHS tapes being put back in is like people says, "Well, I want a CRT." Jason today on Sci-Fi for Me, they were talking because we were talking about 1977 in February, the original cut. We're talking before the new special effects or anything. You'll see it in its original glory with a bit of touch up because they're going to put it on IMAX. But Jason had said, we need a CRT to watch that. If we want to watch it on a physical media format, we need a CRT screen, to that point. But yeah. I mean, what do you think, gentlemen?
I watched the CRT. I've got one in my house.
No, everything in general, just all in general.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the original Star Wars. Probably going to bring my kids to see it. Hand shot first. I mean, actually, he didn't shoot first. He was the only one who shot. Yeah. I mean, shouldn't be changing stuff like that. I'm not in New York. I'm not a Knicks fan. So I don't care if they win or not. Sorry, Knicks fans, if you're watching. But yeah, it's not my thing. But yeah, I mean, 27 years ago, you get old, you kind of go roll with it. But yeah, I mean, that was, it's a bit of a different world, eh?
I was 9 or 10 back then. Wow.
But think about okay, you're 9 or 10, and you're watching on regular, a CRT screen, and now how you're watching your stuff now on an LED screen.
Well, I remember like staying up late and watching having the TV on, and I would always get caught because when my mom would come and check on me, I'd try to hurry up and turn the TV off, but it'd be the kind of screen that would glow and slowly fade for like 15 seconds after you turned it off. so she could always catch me and take the remote away from me. But I remember like Butterfingers, they were BBs, they were my favorite. I love the commercials for it. My favorite cereal back then was uh, Rice Krispie treat cereal.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that.
I think this is actually kind of sad because this is 27 years ago, and what is really different? Like, you're saying these things are different, but Blockbuster Video, you get your video from streaming. I mean, that's not that is a evolutionary change as opposed to a revolutionary change. And my point is that these are all evolutionary things. Oh, we got a different TV, they're bigger, and they're LED versus this. Oh, we don't have Netscape Navigator, we have Google, which is the same thing, but just a different name and maybe a better algorithm, perhaps. But things haven't changed that much. We're in a bit of a rut as the civilization. We're not traveling we're not traveling to the moon for on the weekends. We're not going into intergalactic. We don't have anything that's super different. We're not teleporting around. It's just a little slight evolution. We really haven't come that far in 27 years. It's kind of sad.
It is kind of sad, because I mean, you could say that a lot of the technology has been hampered. There's some certain things that we could have been ahead on, and we're not. They're and they're still messing with a lot of this stuff. I mean, they're talking, that you were going 2K, then 4K, then 8K, and then now 8K is dead, and they're going to stay with 4K for now.
Well, I don't think. I mean, your eyes can't see anything better than 4K. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasting your time, but
exactly. I said it on one of my Man with the shows. I said, don't go out and buy an 8K. You don't need an 8K. 4K is the best. The best that you can get for now, and you don't have to spend, $1,000 for one. Most of these prices are coming down. They're coming down to the average of what CRT screens were going for back in the 90s. I was selling CRT screens, was it about mid 90s in Florida? And people were like saying, well, what's the difference between this and this, that? I said, well, there's not so much difference as far as the quality. It's basically the channel unit on there. If you're planning to hook up cable without a box, you're better off with this model than this one. Because, certain models had a higher range of the way they picked up their channels, on the channel finder. And some of the real cheaper ones wouldn't pick up everything if you're just plugging it in without a cable box. It says if you in Florida, most people weren't plugging in cable boxes. They were plugging it directly, the line directly into that, especially in the retirement homes. They didn't want a cable box. They just wanted it on their regular TV and flipping through channels like the old days.
Yeah. You know who I blame?
What do you blame?
Al Gore.
You blame Al Gore?
Oh yeah, it's his fault. He's behind most of this stuff.
Yeah, it's what is it? Man, Bear, Pig.
That's right.
He's super serial, guys. Lay off Al Gore. He's super serial.
No, it's his fault.
Yes. I hope Death Angels is watching because he's supposed to be here right now. I just sent them his message to him. He's
right now. Nope. I'll keep doing it. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah. We're supposed to have Death Angel Shadows here because you're making an announcement. There's a live feed that's going on to that. What time is it? 4:39. We'll give him a couple more minutes. But anything you guys have watched as of late? Anything you want to talk about? Running a little short.
Watched Mando and Grogu this past weekend, which was interesting.
Oh, did
it wasn't
you?
the worst, but it wasn't the best. Yeah, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. I liked seeing the U-wing in action more, so I enjoyed seeing. That's my favorite Rebel ship. Zeb, they did really well on a live action Zeb from Rebels. Story was a little bland. I could tell that they had to do some rewrites with Carl Weathers passing. It felt like there were a lot of rewrites. All in all, it was decent. I give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
Are you planning to go see it, Tom?
I was thinking about it for content wise to be able to talk about it, but then the reviews came out and they just were, a lot of them were sort of boring was the key word. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to sit through, just go pirate it or something.
Jason was like saying, he's like, hey, he went to go see it and he's like, it was okay. There was certain things that, like I said, it wasn't the worst of what Disney's put out as far as Star Wars, but
that's a low bar.
Not the best,
not the worst. So it was better than
not
Solo.
The worst, but not the best.
Oh, okay, well, great. Better than Solo. That's kind of a better than a root canal. All right,
better than a root canal.
Yeah, so it's I'm a little bit, I probably won't. Based on if there was a little more positive buzz out there, a bit of like. I don't want to spend 2 hours being bored. That's for it, right? So if
Sigourney,
I'm not, that's the main thing that's coming out boring is what this seems to be the word, from some. I mean, maybe that's wrong, but I don't know. Were you bored? Outpost, was it a little bit boring?
It was.
I heard there's
slow.
a big. It was slow. There's
a
big.
It was slow in some parts.
Yeah, there's a big forest scene with the little gremlin running around, fetching things to save the Mandalorian or something. Was that kind of hinted?
Yeah, Mando it's on Nal Hutta, the planet of the Hutts. Mando gets poisoned by an animal, gets bit by an animal, gets poisoned, and Grogu he basically built him like a miniature hut that reminded me of Yoda's hut on Dagobah. And he's trying to save him and like find something that'll cure him. And it basically one of the characters, the Hut, his name's Rhoda the Hut. He was the baby that in the Clone Wars animation movie. He was the baby Hut of Jabba the Hutt. So he's trying to make a name for himself by fighting in the gladiator pits. Like I said, I enjoyed seeing the U-Wing. I enjoyed Zeb. Sigourney Weaver just seemed out of place. I love her. I loved her since Ghostbusters. She just seemed kind of out of place on a rebel base, like being in charge. It's like, Dave Filoni, of course, had to have his cameo as an X-Wing pilot. Self-insertions. I hate them. But it was okay.
I'm going to make a movie myself, and every character is going to be played by me. There you go. The self-insert of I'll just play everything. Great plan.
Oh, but before I forget, oh my God, I forgot one. For those anime fans out there, Amazon is selling, and a couple other sites, they're selling the original Ninja Scroll series, Ninja Scroll movie, for about $10 online. I think it's the Blu-ray. Is it the Blu-ray version? Hang on one second. I have it right here. Yeah, it's the Blu-ray version. It's because I think there is a 4K coming on that, but $10 for one of the greatest ninja samurai films of all time that inspired a whole slew of ninja and samurai anime films and series. I mean, that's a great price. $10. It's a lot of stuff that's been coming down in price lately.
Yeah, I think physical media is the way to go. I've been looking to, expand my, I'm pretty picky. I don't want a copy of everything, but expand my repertoire with some good films that, can be watched forever type of thing that, won't go, and I got to get some animation, add some animation to that. But, I've got a couple of things that I think that people will watch forever,
I still got to order my, Speed Racer, the movie.
Yeah, that might be a one. Like I'm looking at, stuff like Back to the Future. I think that will always be a good movie.
Yeah.
Edited. For example, I've got
the live action Speed Racer.
The live action Speed Racer.
Q2?
It's been 4K.
That's such an underrated movie.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed that movie so much. I've been watching clips of it recently, and just the whole final race was one of my favorite scenes. And John Goodman as Pops was just brilliant casting. I love that movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, the for those of you who interested still, the Babylon 5 box set in Blu-ray is still available over on GRUV. I can never pronounce their website. It's a Universal company website. Shout Factory is part of it now on there.
Yeah, so that's the one I have. I'll comment on that real quick. It's good. It's good if you want. Hey, do you want season 1 to season 5 complete in the smallest package possible? Then get this, because that's what it is. But it lacks the all the extras that that the DVD season 1s had, for example. Like they had, they have the intro and outros to the, coming up next on Babylon 5, that kind of thing. They had the commentary tracks that Jeff loves so much. Like on the Blu-ray, there's none of that. It's just the shows. Boom, that's it. No extras at all. I mean, and I'm happy with it. I'm usually happy with it on Blu-ray because it it gets you what you want to go. But if you're into the extra stuff, you're not. This is like cut down. But for whatever it was, like $50 or what is it? How much is it? 80.
It's 80
for $80. It's that's a good deal. I mean, that's pretty good.
Before Jeff comes in, because he's going to be in a minute. At 6 p.m. Eastern, Evra Games. Oh, Dean couldn't be here today. The Corporate Curse he'll be doing today on there at 6 p.m. Eastern. Check it out live on there. It's coming up on there, and of course, Snob.
I'll just mention yesterday, Dean put myself, Death Angel Shadow, and Cam through a part way of a one shot where he took 3 people who had never read any of the rules or barely know what's going on, especially me, and gave us the characters, explained to us, and we went through a start of an adventure and 2 different combats. And I'm not a big fan of fantasy RPGs, but it was kind of fun, quick, easy to learn, very different. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then
you want to
tomorrow,
watch me flopping around a bit. Go to his channel and see that.
And then tomorrow, the big event tomorrow.
That's right. 1 hour earlier, a new time. That's the way everyone can get their beauty sleep. We don't want people to be too ugly. I've seen the episode. I watched it last night, the night before. Mm-hmm. So I am up. I got to watch again, of course, so I can get my notes. But
is John Sheridan dead? Is he alive?
He's not
dead.
Did he survive? Apparently, he survived.
Explosion.
I'm surprised Morden survived. He wasn't looking so
spoilers.
Wasn't looking so good.
God,
wasn't looking so good, but he survived. I don't know how he survived. I don't know how Sheridan survived either. They don't tell you that. Sheridan's only at the very end. You're like, oh, he's alive. There he is. Oh, and that's it. We know
if he is.
We know he's alive. Or I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if it's him. It could be
something else
or a clone or something. But as I said, it's the very last sort of scene. You kind of see him, and you're like, "Oh, he's not dead."
Outpost. What do you got?
I thought it was a kind of a slow issue.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, these.
I don't really have
these things to worry about, right? But anyway, sorry.
I don't really have anything right now. I'll have to get back up with you on that question.
All right, no problem. No problem at all. Also, ladies and gentlemen, once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. T-shirt line, new. Stay curious, stay informed, stay mad. It's out right now. Shop cuticast.com. Promo code stay mad for 10% off on there. It's a limited time. It's just for the summer.
And you have those in like extra small for me?
Yeah. We got them
Yeah,
in
extra,
small.
extra small.
The extra, what do they call it? If you're a tall person, I know certain sizes are out of stock right now on the extra tall. I know I've noticed that on. I was just looking the other day, and but like if you're husky, big, we do have up to 5XLs. Smalls, we got tiny on there. We have women's sizes as well on there. So on the back, unfortunately I didn't put the back on there. The back has our new logo with the Rumble, and Cameron decided to do an update.
Oh no!
Holy shoot! And it crashed the whole thing. Oh my god! I'm sorry, man. Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen! I'm sorry. We had to interrupt that. Death Angel Shadows just text me. He says Cameron decided to do an update, crashed everything.
Well, that's pretty poor planning.
Yeah, that's pretty poor planning on there. Can you handle this for a minute, Snob and Outpost? Let me just check on something.
All right. Okay, dance. Somebody do something.
No, the next few episodes of Babylon 5, they're going to answer a lot of questions. I think you're going to really enjoy them. I rewatched till about episode I think 4.
Yeah,
and it's going to be really interesting.
I'm not too upset that the first episode is a bit of a placeholder episode where everyone's going, where's this guy? Where's this guy? Oh, well, we got to go look for this guy. We got to go here. What about this guy? We should, like they're not. The only thing is they're not really. None of the threads are being solved. It's like we got to go and do this thread. So it's
it's the first episode. Speaking of, it's like here are the threads.
Yes.
The next few episodes are going to be us resolving
them.
And it's basically
they're reminding us
this
about
episode's
the
a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of like them not coming to terms with the loss, but realizing it, and then just starting to cope with it,
coming to terms with it somewhat as well, except for the Londo one, which is, I mean, even that's the beginning of a thread, but at least it's the beginning of a thread, and we're starting, like, as opposed to, hey, we got to go, like Jakar, I got to go find this guy. Okay, Londo's thread is like, hey, we got to do this, and he starts to get a plan into motion, sort of.
It's to me, it's one of the most interesting storylines of the entire series.
The Londo one,
the Londo one in the next couple episodes.
Yeah, well,
it's really a lot.
Everyone loves Londo, together. Right? So it's got to be. I'm looking forward to that too. Of course, I'm sure that's going to be pretty good. And I was a little surprised about it because I thought the Emperor would be different. That he'd be more. That he was kind of the Emperor fighting against the old ways, but he's actually just as bad as or worse.
He's worse. He's the worst character on the show, and it's awesome.
Crazy.
The actor plays it so well.
I think it's a good pick too. The way he was acting, I'm like, hey, this guy's, I don't know who he is, but he seemed. I mean, I wasn't expecting that from the character, but now that I understand that that's how the character is, I think he's playing him very well. So far, what I've seen, So,
it's basically the complete opposite of Londo. Basically, he's doing everything for selfish reasons, when Londo was doing everything for the people.
Yeah, he is kind of the opposite. Yeah,
there he is,
and there he is, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Death Angel Shadows from Tennessee Tabletop. Hello,
you're not
nobody there.
Frame. It's a nice setup.
It's a wall.
Just saying.
It's a wall.
Is he trolling us?
He can't be. I told him to hit the audio.
He's invisible.
Oh, damn. I got to get me some of that.
Let's see if he comes in.
Oh, well, while we're waiting.
I was about to say the Emperor. I was about to say, you guys get to see the Emperor on that. I guess you answered that question.
That was good. That was good parts. The Londo thing is, I'm glad to see that and go. And, the other threads, like I said, you missed it, but the other threads are, they're going to get resolved, but there's just very little on those threads in this first episode for most of them, except for the Londo thread. The other threads are like, hey, we got to go do this thread. Okay. And I'm expect we'll see more. So it was a little bit, the episode is a little bit, on the dry side because of that. Not as much action because it's, hey, we need to do this thing.
It's starting. It's starting.
But you do need a time for the characters to say, hey, this thing happened and we need to adjust and stuff. I mean, if they go right into it, it's kind of, you need to let it breathe a little bit. So I'm not upset of the way that it went. It makes sense from the writing perspective. But when you're like, oh, we want to see some action, explosions and stuff happen, you're not as
Speaking of no action,
there you go. This Sunday on the Top Lofty Lounge, we got it's back to the Amazing Digital Circus for episodes 7 and 8. We're going to look at, and then the episode 9 drops the week after that, and we're going to look into that. So, have you guys been watching the Digital Circus? You can see it
I've
online.
watched a couple. I haven't caught up to date yet. I'm only like episode 3 or 4.
I have not.
What's your thoughts, Q? You've seen.
I like the animation.
3.
I like it. It's bizarre. It
3.
reminds me of the early days of Adult Swim and Cartoon Network.
I'm not as a big a fan of the animation per se, but the story and the characters is what's getting.
Oh,
me.
I've seen crazier. Have you ever seen 12-ounce mouse? Assy McGee. Frankenweenie. Yeah, if you've seen some of the
well, it's not the craziness, it's the depth and the characters. I would suggest, I would encourage you to try the first episode. And
I read up on it.
You read up on it
from what I've heard, and it reminds me of that episode with in a Voyager with Michael McKean guest starring as that like sadistic like computer program that like holds everyone hostage in a in like this virtual reality simulation.
There is, because the AI is we don't know if it's statistic or it's whatever.
There he goes.
It's not quite like that,
it's
but
like a quarter of them.
The hell?
Death Angel, are you? We see like your forehead.
It's acting weird. It's stupid. They decided to update they updated my camera software. So
of course.
Good thing that happened now, not during
not
during the
tonight
7
at
o'clock.
7? Yeah.
Could have been nice to happen after.
Yeah.
So you're here, and we already said Dean's coming up at 6, but you're coming up something at 7 on multiple channels on your Tennessee table, and Sci-Fi for me at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, 7 o'clock p.m. tonight. Agile Muck, a good buddy of mine, is got a Kickstarter that just launched 58 minutes ago, and I was actually watching that, and then I got a phone call. So it's going to be on Tennessee Tabletop Tavern, as well as on Sci-Fi for Me TV at 7. Also going to be on Dan the Final Arbiter, Arbiter's Archive. He's going to be streaming it from my segment. Our segment's from 7 to 8. But right now they're on with the Troll Lords, Troll Lord Games on their Twitch and YouTube channels. And then I got the list somewhere here, but at any rate, there's a whole bunch of us that are doing it all the way up until like 10 o'clock. And then we're probably going to do an after party after that. So it's going to be a long bunch of streams.
And I just put up both 7 o'clock streams on there. The first one is the Tennessee Table, the Death Angel Channel's channel.
Yep.
And also it'll be airing on Sci-Fi for Me TV as well. So you have 2 places to check it out on there for you guys out there, for you role-playing fan aficionados.
Isn't everybody?
Well,
doesn't everybody like tabletop? What's wrong with you?
I like tabletop. I just haven't played in a long time.
Not everybody.
I got to figure out why this camera. Yeah. So how great of it was it for them to update my software?
Hey, I had an audio no, not an audio, video card update on the laptop. I had to put to the side.
Yeah.
So, right at the 2 o'clock hour. So it's right 1 hour before showtime. It decided to update, and I had to stop it. It would have taken that long just to,
God, I got to zoom it out. I got to get it all prepped for a little bit later on. But I don't know what happened. Why is it also zoomed in? I must not be using the full resolution or something. I think it's got me at 720. I think it does that when you use the virtual whatever the hell it is.
And
Anyway,
since you are here, what you got anything for Sunday?
Sunday we have Matt Finch.
Ooh.
You know who he is?
No, I don't. Well, I'm
gonna
say ooh anyway, just to help you along there.
Oh, okay, is that what that was?
I don't know who he is either.
I don't know who he is either, but I'm gonna say ooh.
I have no idea.
You have been.
He was considered one of the architects of the OSR. He was part of the group that created Osric and created the whole OSE, OSR, that whole thing. He was.
OSR, is that the Office of Strategic Resources?
No, that's
Osric. Osric is that Android, right?
No, it's old school Renaissance or old school revival, old school rules, old school whatever, anything old school tabletop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Basically, what the good tabletop games are these days. So
yeah, be sure, ladies and gentlemen, to subscribe, like, and
you
share.
Older players are the most stingiest gatekeeping dudes
I'm not
I've
gatekeeping
ever
you.
met.
I'm trying to get you to come on, man.
No.
Get jump on the
They're
program.
like a bunch of snobs.
I got somebody's.
I'd love to try.
We'll get you on.
I'd love to try the old style because, like I said, like I've said in chat before, the only tabletop system I've ever played that I could ever fucking figure out was 5e.
5e.
And that's why I like it.
5e's for superhero. One of these.
5.5 is
5.5 is garbage. 5.5 is total garbage. But 5e was okay.
5.5 has just basically trimmed down 5.5 to basically it's like
gray goo.
Bare
I call it
elements.
gray
It's like-
goo because everybody's the same. I could be a gnome that's got the strength of an orc. No, you don't.
See, I never played it like that. I always played it. I did try to mix races and classes that really didn't fit well. I was never a min-maxer. I was more of a fun player. I just try things for fun. I had a Goliath monk, which on paper it's horrible, but I had the most fun with this guy because he was a goofball, and I focused more on the role playing than the actual game rules.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved him.
I really
I
don't know what a
play him again
Goliath
one
is
day.
because they're not a race in my universe. They don't exist. They just came up with them for 5th edition later on. We never. Yeah,
Really?
the standard playable races is, obviously human because D&D is supposed to be human centric. That's the core.
Yeah,
It's supposed to all be human based.
Goliath's been around since 3E.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we don't talk about it.
Okay.
I don't know when.
They're ugly.
Basically, your humans, your dwarves, elves, halflings. Of course, we all know what halflings came from. That was hobbits.
Basically, the
It's
Tolkien races.
hobbits.
It
Yeah,
seems.
and then gnomes. Some people hate gnomes. I'm particularly fond of them because Jeanette's particularly fond of them and likes to play them. So, and actually, I think I'm playing one in the game.
So
My first character I ever got to play was a gnome rogue assassin.
That's what she plays is gnome rogue.
His name was Colvin his name was Colvin the Twin because he had twin daggers. That's where he got the name the Twin from. And I found that as I played him, he liked to play mind games with his enemies. Like we were playing. It was this DM. He was a young kid. We played over Discord. It was his first time ever gaming. We played a game called The Hunting of Vox Machina. This was before they had the players book, their handbook for Critical Role. So we basically played D&D, but just we were hunting the different characters of Vox Machina. And there's one we fought one of the characters, and I cut his head off. I got the killing blow, cut his head off, and left it on a pike. One of them, he spied on another character, and during the last battle, he drops it. He reveals that he'd been close to her. There
Getting
we go.
better.
You got it working now. And it threw her off, and then we we got a total party, a TPK, because one of our characters who was a druid had to cast like blight on a sacred tree and tell everyone we were there.
No, that's cool. That's cool. We'll get you playing. We'll get you playing
So
a game here, man. Outpost. We'll get you in a game.
Yeah.
And
Let's hold this for
I'd love
the after moment on there. I just want to close us out here. I know some people got to go.
Yeah, I got somebody standing with me that's creating a con based on Dark Suns, and he's a huge second edition fan. So he's standing about 15 feet in front of me. I don't know if the camera's working.
I'd like to try like second or third edition.
But anyway, continuing on. Just to let you guys know, Man with the show tomorrow, 3 p.m. UN special rapporteurs calling for prosecution against adult-oriented material, and that includes anime, manga, of course, all the way down the line. Thursday, of course, we've talked about this before. We're talking about it on the video again. Gigant, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. This is being made out of Japan, so it's sort of the Japanese version of it. It's coming on there. We'll be.
Is that why it's backwards?
Because it's a manga.
No,
mangas are backwards.
So is your hat, by the way.
It's
the hat's a manga.
Your camera has made it.
There it goes again.
Did you do the whole show flipped?
I did the whole show flipped.
What do you mean?
He always
done
does.
Every show flipped. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm a madman. That's what you guys mean.
That's what you are, a madman. You are a madman.
I'm a madman.
Every show
and then Friday, of course, we are re-airing with a little bit of touch on there our discussion on Transformers the movie. I just added a little bit more toward it, so a little tweaking on it. You guys will enjoy it because we put a little slides in there to add a little gusto to it. So thank you for all those who've showed up. Thank you for our panelists, especially Death Angel Shadows. Don't forget to check out his show, 7 p.m. Eastern, also on Sci-Fi for Me TV as well. We'll see you tomorrow night on Sci-Fi Snobs, the Babylon 5 retrospective. Remember, stay curious, stay informed, stay mad, and we'll see you on the next one.
Good night,
everyone. Bye-bye now.
Later.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We truly appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to check out our official merch shop and our amazing affiliate partners. Until next time, mwah!